All right, we are back after a brief little intermission, technical difficulty there. So we were talking about the Sandusky stuff, how the not the NFL, the NCAA basically came down on Penn State, and they came down pretty hard. So we were discussing, was it fair, was it not fair? What do we think about it? So we'll start with you, Abel.
Like I was saying, I understand the $60 million fine. That's what Penn State supposedly makes in a year. The 4-year bowl ban, I don't agree with it either, but the part that I just despise is the vacated games that they made Penn State give up from now until 1998.
Yeah.
That knocked Joe Pa off the top of the list as the winningest coach, and I think that is just absolutely wrong, because my stance from this has been, I understand child molestation was wrong, but it's a criminal act. It wasn't a cheating against the NCAA. So for them to come down this hard, and not only to make Penn State vacate wins, I hate it, because you're just saying that what everybody, all those teams from 2012 to 1998, what they did doesn't matter. Every game that they pulled together, fought for each other, doesn't count.
And those football players, those football players, how are you going to take the win from them? They had nothing to do from it.
Exactly.
And, and you guys know my stance on this subject, and I had a strong stance on it, and I thought they should have been punished, but I wouldn't dream they'd take those wins away from that team.
It's ridiculous.
Especially since they didn't break any rule book rules. And I know the world isn't black and white. There's gray areas everywhere, and I understand that. But still, they vacate all those rules. He went from the top winningest coach to number 7 or 8 or something like that.
Yeah, it's sad. I get he did something wrong, and had he been alive, he'd be facing criminal charges. But to say that because he made wrong choice, broke a law, that he wasn't a good coach, and that he didn't earn all those victories. He did.
Yeah, and it is kind of sad. So we're gonna bring in he is normally our boxing guru, but we're gonna bring in Ron Hurst on the MCM Hotline here. Ron, how's it going, my man?
What's going on, fellas?
So Ron actually played football at a Division I college, a major college in the area. So he has been recruited. I just want to get his point of view on certain things here. So let's say you were a senior in high school and you're wrapping up to head right into college. Penn State is your school of choice, but you hear all these sanctions come down 6 weeks until you guys start. Do you still accept that scholarship for that team and continue your freshman year at that school?
Oh, man. First of all, I just want to say what's up, guys. How y'all doing? And just wanted to let you know that I appreciate the show that y'all guys are putting on, and it's real nice to see two young people come together and make a good show. So thank you, guys. But to answer your question, when you're a senior looking to your school, it's not. You're not really looking at the school. You're really looking at the coach and the program of that football team. You know what I mean? Going into, you want to go into a program where you're going to be effective, where you got an opportunity to be a starter and to be a star within that program, and show your skills and show your talent. So, that's the thing. A lot of people think schools make the program and make the team is the coaches. So, you got to look at the coaches and see what type of scheme they run in, and see how you fit within their coaching strategy, and look at the long term of that. And, with the new coach that they have, see if you're a part of that and see if you can fit their scheme and so on and so forth. Otherwise, you're going to have to make another decision, because you still, at the end of the day, for college football, it's not really, you're not really, going to the bowl game is all good and whatnot, and it's great to have that, saying that you went to play in the bowl, but it's only one game out of, the whole season, So if you're doing, even if you're a senior, you can't play the bowl, but if you was a star all the games of the season, you're still going to go to the NFL. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, Ron, if let's say though, like how with Penn State right now, their running backs already talking about transferring to USC. So let's say a big piece of your offense transfers out and you're playing defense. You know that because that major piece on the offense is out, most likely, let's say it was even a quarterback, you're going to spend, being on the defense, more time on the field. Would that affect your decision knowing that because players are bolting, it's going to make your job harder?
Right. Yeah, you look at that, you try to look at that, but you can look at the situation. That guy that's probably going to transfer to USC. So what year? Because he's going to lose a year, right? Or do the players?
They're eligible right away.
They're eligible right away. So you got to look at that. For the players that's already there, they'll be able to transfer and not be able to lose a year. Then you got to look at the situation. If you're a senior, a junior, and if you're a senior, you might want to look at your options, maybe just stay in. If you're a junior, depending on if you're a mediocre player or a star. But, for example, you brought up USC, the guy's going to transfer to USC. But USC was just in a situation for how many years to where they couldn't go to a bowl. Mm-hmm. But they still was an effective team. And the reason for that, because even though Pete Carroll left, the coach that came in, he was a USC diehard. He was brought under Pete Carroll for a little bit. He went off and did his own thing, and then the team that he, that he coached for, he did very well over there. I'm losing, I can't. It's on the tip of my tongue who he coached with the team that he coached. But he left that team because when the opportunity at USC came along, he was like, man, this is my dream team to coach for. Even though they're in a situation, I still want to coach there. But the players came to USC still for to play under him because they knew the talent that he had as a coach, and they knew what he was still going to be able to do for them, even though they were still going to go to the post game.
But that was only that was only a 2-year ban for USC. So
3 years.
No,
both 3. Both 3. Both 3 and scholarships 3.
You sure?
Yeah, but they appealed. They appealed for 2 years, so they got to stack the scholarships that first year. That's why he didn't really see that big of a hit. But Penn State couldn't appeal.
Because compared to 4 games, the reason I brought that up is because let's say you're a player going to USC, you know that you'll eventually, especially if you're a freshman, you'll get the exposure of a bowl game.
Mac Barkley.
Right, towards the end, exactly. Yeah. Exactly what Matt Barkley did. But if you're a freshman coming into Penn State now, your entire tenure at Penn State, you're not going to see a bowl game.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying. That hurts. That really hurts. But let's say, Ron, you're in that situation and you're a sophomore. Do you stick it out?
It's all about the coach. Like for my situation, like for my personal situation, my coach, after my sophomore year, resigned or whatever the case may be, however way you want to say it. He left, and then we brought in a new coach. And so and by still staying in the program, this new coach, not knowing what's his strategy, the first year, obviously, he's going to stick with the team that he has right now because he needs us.
Yeah.
But then while he's doing that, he's still recruiting the players that he wants to bring in for his coaching scheme. You know what I mean? So, I was in a situation to where, I couldn't really just get up and leave because, I wasn't a star. I wasn't a superstar, and I was just like a mediocre player. So, for me to lose a year and take that chance to go somewhere else, I had better chances of just sticking it out and dealing with a coach that, at the end of the day, we really didn't click. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally understand. So,
it's all about the, you know what I mean? So you just got to look at the coaching situation.
So that's an interesting perspective, saying that players actually look at the coaches more than they look at the college or surrounding. I guess it all depends on what type of player you are as well. But Ron, I know you are a boxing expert. Is there any other boxing matches or UFC matches coming up that you're looking forward to?
Oh man, I'm Rashida Travis Jr. versus
my man. That's the fight I was talking about. Who's he fighting on that one?
Who's Chavez fighting on that one? I forget.
Who he's playing? Y'all put me on the spot here. He's fighting in September. Actually, Chavez Jr. fight. It's going to be a big. This right here is going to really make or break. Not really break his career, but if he beats this guy, and this guy is he's not number 2 or 3 pound for pound fighter.
Uh-huh.
I can't think of his name right now, but
yeah,
this fight's about to happen here in the next month or so, and that's going to be the best fight of the summer. That's going to be one of the best fights of the summer.
So real quick, before I let you go, we were asking our fans, what Olympic sport they were looking forward to, because the Olympics are coming up on Friday. So is there an Olympic sport that you're looking forward to watching besides women's volleyball?
I love women's gymnastics. You know what I mean? But track and field. I love track and field, so I can't wait to see them get down and see who the star is in that track and field and gymnastics. You know what I mean? And everything else just coming to place. So it's cool.
All right, thanks, Ron. Thanks for calling into the MCM hotline.
Hey, Ron, hold on. Before you go, it's Sergio Martinez he's going to fight.
There you go.
So that's going to be one hell of a fight. I'm glad you brought that up because I honestly forgot about it, but that is going to be a great fight.
So, yeah, we'll bring you in.
Be a hell of a fight.
We'll bring you in next week for some more insight on that fight. Maybe we have some insight to what's going on. But, Ron, you have a good one. We'll talk to you next week, buddy.
Thanks, man.
All right, later. Bye.
All right, that was Ron Hurst, our boxing expert, giving some insight on how players think when they're in a system and what type of system works for them. He gave some important insight that I actually didn't even think about, and it's the coaches,
Yeah, no, that's awesome that we got him on here.
Yeah. All right, so actually, what Olympic sport are you looking forward to?
When the Olympics are on, I kind of just, how they're on pretty much 24/7.
Yeah. Replays and all that.
Honestly, yeah, gymnastics. I'm not gonna lie.
Gymnastics.
To me, it's I'm not saying I'm a huge fan of it, but it's interesting to me. Like the stuff they do, watching it, it's a trip to me because I always wonder, how do you get to the point that you're so good that you could be in the Olympics? Like, how many times did you have to fall on your head or in your back or something, to get there? Like, it's amazing to me. Like, I don't really care if they stick a landing or not. To me, it's just, how do you not fall on your head? Like, that's amazing to me. You didn't break your neck, like, on Final Destination 5. Like, that's amazing to me. So I like watching that.
I'm looking most forward to, this is going to sound weird, all right? I like diving. I like Olympic diving. I don't know why.
Another good one.
I can't tell you why. But when it's on, I can't turn the damn channel. I don't know what it is.
That's awesome. The water barely moves.
Yeah, I don't understand it. And I don't know why I can't turn the channel either. It's amazing.
And I used to be into swimming when I was young, like major. And I tried diving off a 20-foot board one time at the Hayward Plunge. Man, I didn't know at that height you can't just straighten up right when you jump off.
Yeah.
I ended up backflopping so hard from 20 feet.
Whoops and everything.
It was bad. You just heard everybody just go, oh.
Yeah,
it hurt like hell.
All right, so we're going to jump into some Page 2 news. Actually, let's get into our fan interaction. Is what say you? You guys can chime in on Twitter at MCR Sport Show. You can check us out there. Also on Facebook, we're there. So Dodgers in St. Louis are still tied, heading into extra innings for you guys to know. A lot of people chimed in and said their Olympic sport they're looking forward to. I had swimming, I had track and field, but it seems like the consensus is women's volleyball. And they might they might not even have bikinis this year.
Oh, well, what the hell's the point then?
I won't watch it for sure.
Well, there goes the ratings.
Yeah,
no one really cares who wins or loses.
All right, so some Page 2 news we got going on. Andre Kirilenko, he might be taking his talents to another team like the Brooklyn Nets, taking his talents to Brooklyn. There are talks that they're trying to trade for him. He wants out of Utah, and who blames him?
Yeah, I mean,
isn't he Russian? He's a Russian guy. He's Russian. Maybe he wants to play for a Russian owner. That would be pretty cool.
Oh no, I think that in that perspective, it would be awesome for him.
Yeah,
just a fresh start because in Utah he's been falling off he's fallen out of rotations. I mean, honestly, He used to be a great player, especially defensively.
Defensively, he was a beast. Defensively.
On the blocks, he was almost, his athleticism was surprising.
Yeah.
But it's just he's fallen off. So why not get a fresh start, especially with, a native Russian?
Yeah, and he can come off the bench, play 20 minutes a game, ask him to play some lockdown D. That Brooklyn Nets team is going to be pretty good if they get Kirilenko.
Yeah, they're building
good.
it up pretty nicely.
Yeah, that new owner definitely not afraid to spend money and not afraid to tell his GM to pull the trigger on some moves.
Exactly. But see, that's what you need. You need ownership that's going to spend money. If they're not, luxury tax, all that doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it doesn't hurt that he's a billionaire. But,
a couple times over.
Yeah, exactly. So.
All right, also in some page 2 news, Des Bryant mom came out and spoke through a lawyer. Actually, we're going to play it for you. That way there'll be no misinterpretations. We're going to play the statement through the lawyer.
Would like to speak this matter on advice of counsel. He'll not make any statements at this time. Did a family disagreement occur? Yes. Did Des Bryant commit family violence against his mother? No. They're here today to show that they do love and support each other, just as they did before this incident a week ago. But like all families, the Bryants have disagreements. Mr. Bryant and his family understand the serious nature, as we all do, of family violence. They believe that when all of the facts are reviewed, Mr. Bryant will be cleared of any allegations of family violence. Angela Bryant does not want charges filed against her son. Des and his mother believes the family does in fact matter, and that they can work together through counseling to deal with family issues.
Ongoing situation there. Let's go back to John.
So that was brought to us, actually, ESPN there. So I'll give them a little. They don't need any more plugs, but we got to credit where we got the clip from. But that whole incident is all messed up. It makes me feel sorry for Des Bryant. He said, how can you feel sorry for Des Bryant? He allegedly hit his mom with a baseball cap. His mom sold drugs, did drugs, was a prostitute. This incident here, retracting the incident. I mean, I feel sorry for this guy. That the talent that he has, it could be, tenfold more, if he had the right support group around him. So yeah, I do feel sorry for the guy.
And judging from, I mean, the viewers can't see, but the picture of him and his mom at that hearing, I get that they showed up together to show solidarity and that it's a big misunderstanding, but from that picture, I don't see it as a misunderstanding. She doesn't look very happy.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't and he doesn't. They both look miserable.
Like they do not want to be there.
Yeah, and even though his mom doesn't want charges, she still called 911, and the police department is still gonna pursue these charges. So that's the messed up thing. Usually police ask, hey, do you want to press charges? You have the right to say yes or no. If you say no, you drop it. Why waste the district attorney's hours and taxpayers' dollars to pursue something that the person involved in the incident doesn't want to pursue? So I think this guy has a lot of chips stacked against him coming into this year. And I hope the Cowboys, they shouldn't suspend him. The NFL shouldn't suspend him. I just think they need to give him some type of counseling. Maybe it's too late for counseling. I don't know. But they need to do something to help this young man.
He's honestly got to stay away from his mom. That's the only thing that's going to help him.
Yeah.
I mean, to be in that position in the first place, let's say it did happen. He hit his mom with a hat across the face, whatever.
Yeah.
That's egregious on its own. That's terrible. A man hitting his mom, especially at his
type
age.
of way.
Exactly. But let's say it didn't happen and she's lying. So who's to say that she won't come up with another lie next time she gets upset or whatever the hell happens? He just doesn't need to be around her, honestly. And it's sad to say, and it's tough, but till his career is over, keep distance. And
probably after the career, maybe he needs to distance himself for good, because you think after the career, his money's gone. His mom, well, I don't want to speculate on what can happen, but maybe he just needs to start distancing himself now.
But it's all within the realm of possibility. I mean, look at the situation. I mean, she's already hindered his career before he even got in the NFL.
Yeah.
He slipped in drafts because of her. Like, he could have been making more money from the start.
Yeah.
Had he not had to answer questions about what his mom did for a living, or it's just, and still even into this. How many years is he in his career? Third year. He's still having to deal with issues caused by his mom.
Yeah, and it sucks. And props to him for being honest in those interviews. He didn't have to say that, but hey, he was being honest. It was probably going to come out anyway, so He was honest. Do you think the NFL should take action? I mean, if there's no legal, I said that to an NCAA,
Well, exactly,
but it's not in the rule book. They took
exactly,
action.
exactly.
But here, I don't think so. But what do you think?
I don't think NFL should take steps in anything regarding the law unless someone's found guilty.
There you go.
They've been stepping in, and Goodell especially has been stepping in and handing out fines and suspensions just as soon as somebody's been accused.
Mm-hmm.
Really not even charged.
Yeah.
Just like even with Big Ben, I understand Big Ben probably did something stupid, but he never was really charged with anything. So
he still got suspended.
Legally, exactly.
Yeah.
Legally, he didn't do anything wrong.
You know, the thing is like, okay, people talk about how strict Roger Goodell is, how much punishment he dishes out. But the thing is, year after year, offseason after offseason, there's stuff like this that happens to so many players. It's like, maybe he's not doing it enough. We say he's doing it too much, but hey, look at this. It happens every offseason. Maybe he's not doing it enough.
Right. No, and honestly, I agree with you. I mean, let's say he puts in a rule where he goes, all right, if your name comes up with some kind of trouble with the law, just even if you didn't do it, half your season's gone off the top.
Yeah, maybe it has to get that way to straighten up these guys, you know. Also, to switch the mood here a little bit, Mike Tomlin finally getting paid as he should, signed to through 2016, I should say. We don't know the exact figures yet. As you know, it's Pittsburgh. They keep a tight knit on things over there, but he is extended through the 2016 season. I'm happy for the guy. Good coach, 40 years old, still has a lot of good coaching years ahead of him.
Oh, no, that's awesome. And honestly, they're going to extend it before 2016 comes around because think about it. Their previous coach was with them for how many years?
I think it was the longest tenure besides Fisher, so maybe 7 or 8, I think.
Okay, and then to have another coach step in and you don't miss a step. They got they won the Super Bowl. They continued in that winning tradition. I mean, I love the Steelers, how they're ran. I love the family ownership, and I love the coaching decisions that they made.
Yep.
They just keep going. They keep that tradition alive of winning and tough defense, and it doesn't change. And if he's holding it down like that and he's continuing it, by all means, he got exactly what he deserved.
Now he's going to earn his paycheck this year, though. He has an aging defense. He has some young wide receivers, and he also is losing Pittsburgh lost their defensive coach. So we're going to see what's going to happen this year.
Well, that's why
he's going to earn his paycheck.
That's why he gets the big bucks. So he has to pick the replacements, and you know. Yeah. But I have all confidence in everything I've seen in him that he's going to pick the right people.
And with Rice getting a new deal, Forte getting a new deal, Maurice Jones-Drew, MJD, I like to call him. Everybody likes to call him that, actually. He wants a new deal, and rightfully so.
Right.
When do you know one player literally responsible for half? One player is literally responsible for half of the team's offense. Half.
Do me a favor. Keep talking because I'm going to look up his contract right now because this is what bugs me.
I already know his contract.
You do.
It's 2 years left. On the 2 years that are left, he's owed $9.6 million on 2 years. Together. And Ray Rice just got $9.6 a year. And this guy is responsible for half. You guys say it with me. Half.
But what? Okay, so what length is this contract?
It's up at 2 years. He has
it's
2 years left, and he's up. And
his second
age.
Contract.
Yeah. I say restructure it. Give him 10 a year for 2 years, 10 a year for 3 years. That's stretching it because of his age.
But see, my problem is this: he signed a contract.
He did.
He signed a contract, and it bugs me when players keep coming and keep wanting more money when they outperform that contract, or maybe not even outperformed them, just lived up to it.
Half, Abel.
I don't care. That's fine.
Half.
That's what. Hey, he should be honestly thankful that the team is asking that much of him. So keep it up for 2 more years. Keep doing half of your team's offense for 2 more years and get a super huge payday when you're done.
I don't think it's going to happen. And this is why they're probably not doing it. In 2 years, he's nowhere going to be the same player as he is now.
The contract he's on right now,
yeah,
it was a 5-year, $30 million deal.
Okay. So what are the it must have been front loaded because these last 2 years he's not
getting
anything.
The base is $5 million and then bonuses. Yeah, so he's pretty much gets $8 million a year. So he's already making what Forte and them are doing with
if it's bonus.
If he reaches his bonus.
Okay.
So he's reaching his bonuses. Now he wants more. This is my problem with NFL players is he got $30 million to begin with. and now he wants even more. So let's say he has a season where his stats drop all crazy. The offense doesn't ask that much of him. Then what? Is he giving money back?
No. Well, I always tend to side with the players because I think you have, especially running backs, you have such a limited amount of time to cash in, and you got to cash in when you can. Maybe he already did $30 million for 5 years. Maybe he already kind of did cash in, but half, Abel. When you know a running back responsible for half of a team's offense?
He's done it for 1 year. If he does it 2 years, then maybe we talk. So for that last year, we extend it.
And then I think Chris Johnson didn't help any type of situation with the way that his team caved in. So, hey, and plus he's a stand-up guy. He's never been in trouble in any type of way.
See, the Titans should have put a clause in that contract that says if this year's stats, after holding out, doesn't matter. If you don't reach the stats you hit last year, boom, money comes back. You owe us. Because look what happened. He was crap next year.
Yeah, and he's probably going to be in crap this year too.
And honestly, they should put a clause like that in because when a player holds out, he's not going to have that type of season. You hold out through training camp, into the season, 1 or 2 games, you miss preseason, you're not going to be the same player. So I'm not going to pay you for what you did, knowing when you come back, you're not going to be the same player.
That depends on the player. Like Chris Johnson, he doesn't have the greatest of head on his shoulders, so he wasn't probably working out when he was trying to negotiate his contract. Okay. But the player like MJD, he's probably working out. Like if there's certain players you can say they're probably going to work out in the offseason.
I can't make that assumption. I can't. To me, it's just he's asking for money that he's already under contract 2 years. Ride it out. Continue to play this year then and extend it before your last year's up. That I'll agree with by all means. But when you still got 2 years left on a $30 million deal, shut up and take your money. I mean, geez, are you really hurting that much? And not only that, they're NFL players, like you said. You side with them because their contracts aren't that long. I'm not siding with them because they play 3 years and they get
pension.
There you go.
Yeah,
pension.
Well, yeah, they fought for that.
I would love to have a job for 3 years and then get pension for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I'm not going to feel sorry for you because you're only making $8 million and you get pension when you leave.
Yeah. Well, it's different stances, and that's why people listen to this show. You take a hard stance to the left, I take a hard stance to the right. That's how it is. Speaking of hard stances to the left and right, it's time for the MCM local edition. You want to get on your 49ers first? Is there anything you want to speak on the 49ers besides how awesome they are?
No, because you know what? I'm actually getting pissed off, and I can't wait till football starts because the 49ers, and not only the 49ers, but the whole ESPN East Coast bias.
I'm sick of that too.
It makes me sick, but at the same time, the 49ers, even locally, honestly, they're not getting any love.
Yeah.
I listen to the radio stations out here, and to me, they keep talking Raider football. Why? I have no idea. What have the Raiders done? And not only Raider football, but Carson Palmer. I'm sick of hearing about Carson Palmer being this elite quarterback and him being better.
Who said
than
he was
Alex
elite?
Smith.
Who said he's better than
Ask
Alex
any Raider fan.
Well, I want to talk about this too. Now, this is why I'm starting to change, I guess, as I'm getting older. But fans have to start separating fan from fanatic. I know fan is short for fanatic. But when your team is not doing good or when your team isn't putting product on the field or on the court or whatever sport you want to call it, you have to start standing up. Don't watch the games. Don't go to the game. Don't pay a ticket to go to the game.
Raider fans don't go to games.
We have for the last year. Last year.
Do you know last year was the first time you guys sold out since you guys moved back to Oakland in 1995?
Probably is.
Or
probably
98,
is.
Whatever.
Probably is. And one reason is probably because it's in Oakland.
I don't care. That's ridiculous.
It's in Oakland.
49ers play in Candlestick Park. That's an island.
It's still considered San Francisco. And
like one way in, one way
San
out.
Francisco is the golden child of America.
The Raiders got Bart. They got Bart. It's easy. You can walk to a freaking Raider game.
Would you let your kid ride Bart to a Raider game?
Why not? I don't. There's nothing wrong with Bart. I mean, I wouldn't let him go to a Raider game. Period. I mean, but if I let him go to any game with Bart, why not? Why not?
You guys got to start demanding more of your team. I know you're a fan. You're going to try to support it no matter what. And maybe me being a Laker fan and being a USC fan and all this other stuff, it's kind of spoiled me a bit. But that's why those teams that I like are so great, because the fans demand so much, from their team. The Lakers have to go out and sign big guys to contracts. They have to go out and sign not only big players, but big personalities. And that's, I hope the Raiders try to do, take a page from these other teams' book.
It's not going to happen.
But we'll see. They didn't have the cap room this year, and quite honestly, they probably won't have it next year.
But the difference, like you said, the Lakers demand that. And
Yeah.
if they're not getting it, they're vocal about it.
The fans will, and the thing about LA, which I wish it was out here a little bit more, the fans rule the airwaves, and the teams will hear about it, the players will hear about it. The radio and TV rule in LA. Out here, not so much.
But the thing is, when you hear Lakers talk about the Lakers when the Lakers aren't doing good, they're saying the Lakers suck. We got to get somebody.
Yeah.
They're playing like crap. Get somebody in here. When you listen to Raider fans talk about the Raiders, they talk about like you guys are in the Super Bowl every year, and it pisses me off. It's frustrating.
Don't let emotion get the best, because
I can't separate it. Not when it comes to these two teams. Anything else, I could take emotion out. I can't take it out of Niners.
So if there's a scandal, not as playing.
Hey, I don't care. Hey.
But I'm starting to separate that. I am going to hold the Raiders more accountable this season than I have in any years in the past. I'm going to be more critical this year than I have any year in the past. Does that mean that I'm still not going to go to a bar, go to a game? Yeah, I'm actually going to go to 3 games this year. But I'm still going to hold them accountable. Actually, a friend just kind of reminded me, hey, don't buy a game package. Take it game by game, because you don't want to, if they fall off and they're not doing things necessary to get better, why are you going to give them 3 games? So I might take that advice. We'll go game by game.
Are you kidding me? That right there, that's the Raider fans. That's the Raider fans that don't sell out the game. That's why they're blackouts. Because exactly. Let's see how they're doing. Let's see how they're.
Well, I mean, that's what I said. I'm not gonna. If the team, it's one thing if I see they have no money, no tradition. Like if I lived in Jacksonville, like man, there's no way we can attract players here. But I'll still go to a game. That's the only thing I have to do. But we're in California, man. There's a lot of things to do. Plus, there's tradition in Raiders. There's people who are going to want to come and play here. You just got to have the right front office and the right head coach in place, to seal the deal. And if I don't see any type of movement going forward towards that this year, hey, I'm not going to support the team.
Oh, maybe it's the frustration from a Niner point of view because, like I said, when I talk to Raider fans, and I'm talking honestly, I could pick one out of a crowd, and I can guarantee I know their answers. They're going to talk about the Raiders like they're Super Bowl bound every year. But then when it comes to, are you going to any games? Well, let me see how they're doing. I'm going to buy a game to one game, and then I'll see how they're doing the next game. That's what pisses me off.
That's the definition of a fanatic.
That's what it just it gets to me so bad.
You were there at one point. I remember when we first met. You were a fan of the Niners, just like you are now. Right. So you're not a bandwagon fan, which I commend you for.
Thank you.
You're a Seattle Mariners fan,
right?
And of course, you're not gonna.
Hell no! I mean, there's no bandwagon to jump on.
The worst team there.
No bandwagon.
But that team went through 4-game wins, 5-game wins, and you were still there. Talking about how great your team was,
right?
And you're gonna right the ship. You got to think. That's how Raider fans think too. Just like. When we argue, I said, man, the Raiders are going to win more games than the Niners are. You're like, no way, blah, 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 this, blah, blah, that.
Because why? Okay.
And they did that year that they did when we mentioned it. But you got to expect Raider fans to say the same thing that you would say if your team is in
I expect anybody that argues for their team to back up why they say it like that. Like when I told you, the 49ers going to right the ship, whatever, I'll back it up. I'll say because even before Harbaugh got there, our defense was already good. Because we got Patrick Willis. And we got Navarro Bowman.
And everybody knew it. Everybody knew you guys had the players to do it. And then, but everyone knew that you didn't have the coach to do it.
I know, but you can't tell me. Okay, but like I said, I'll point out players that are like Patrick Willis. That's why I know our defense is going to be strong. Patrick Willis. But you can't turn around and tell me that, Raiders are going to be good because Carson Palmer. What the hell has Carson Palmer done that would deserve him that kind of credit where he's going to carry a team into the playoffs, like he guaranteed they're going to this year?
He didn't say he didn't guarantee. I heard it was at the golf tournament in I think it was Lake Tahoe. He didn't say he guaranteed. He said that he expects to make the playoffs this year. He didn't say I guarantee the Raiders will be in the playoffs. And of course, Michael Vick said he expects he wants a dynasty. I mean, well, you expect players to want to win, especially everybody starting 0-0.
Everybody expects to win, but there's a difference, especially that now that you brought up Vick, and actually I forgot that we didn't talk about him the whole damn show. You can't say everybody expects to win. Nobody goes out there and goes, "Oh crap!"
Exactly.
The season hasn't even started. It's
you lost half
the
battle if you start the season.
But there's a difference between saying that we're gonna hope to win and we're gonna make the playoffs, and not only we're gonna make the playoffs, but we're gonna make the playoffs because of Carson Palmer, someone who since 2005 hasn't done anything to justify being called an elite quarterback.
Now, no one's saying that we're gonna win because of Carson Palmer. And honestly, he's not an elite quarterback. He's a decent quarterback. He's an okay quarterback on a scale of 1 to 10. You think your 10s, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees. Your 9s, what do you got? Flacco, and 8s and so forth. I'll put your 8s and Romo. 7, I'll put Carson Palmer in the 7s. You know, he's a 7-rated quarterback, and that's where I'll put him. If you want to equivalent to stars, he's a 3-star quarterback.
So is Alex Smith then a 7?
Yeah, I'll put Alex. The reason why Alex Smith is a 7, not a 6, in a lot of people's eyes, and a lot of Raider fans' eyes, he'll probably be a 6. But the reason why I think he's a 7, he has unique throwing skills on the run, and he's so athletic. He's like almost like a white Cam Newton, but he doesn't get the hype because he's white.
Well,
but yeah,
Cam's better on shorter throws.
Yeah, he can throw on the run, and that's something that's unique. He's an out of the pocket passer and in the pocket passer.
God, even you know what? And it is my fault because I kind of did this. It was stupid of me because this irritates me too. I just the comparison alone between Carson Palmer and Alex Smith irritates the hell out of me.
You can't compare them. They're not even remotely the same.
No, but I'm saying as who's better, who's like exactly. I don't think they're anything alike because I think honestly Alex Smith is a lot better than Carson Palmer. In Alex Smith's last 24 games, this is just 24 games. He's had 30 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. 6.
Yeah, and
what the hell has Carson Palmer done in his last? If we were to pick 30 games.
Probably 14 interceptions. I remember he had last year.
Yeah.
But the thing is, a lot of people want to compare quarterbacks. So like this a fair comparison. Okay, Drew Brees and Tom Brady. You can switch the systems because they're both pass heavy. They both favor zone. Find the empty zone. We're gonna read it on the same time. I'm gonna hit you when it's supposed to be perfect. You can compare those because you can switch the systems, but the system that the Raiders ran, the system that Harbaugh ran last year, totally different. So you can't say maybe what kind of decisions he would have made in a Raider uniform. It's kind of different.
But see,
I will say
what
this.
I can say.
I will say this. Carson Palmer wouldn't have been able to run that wishbone that they ran and the bootleg. He wouldn't have been able to do that in the Niners. So I can say that.
But see, I can say that they when we're making comparisons, I honestly one of the major stats to me is interceptions because to me interceptions is decision making. That's whether if you have high interceptions, it's because you're a bad decision maker. You take too many risks. You try to squeeze the ball in. Carson Palmer has 3 or more seasons where he has 20 plus interceptions.
I thought it was 2. I actually thought it was 1.
He has 3 with 20, 1 with 18, and last year with 16.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, and you can't argue the numbers. I mean, you just said the numbers. You can't argue the numbers. But you have to think the coach is going to do something about it. It's not like he's a scrub. He's not a scrub.
But that's the thing.
He's not fresh out of college. He's not a scrub. Can he improve? No, but can something be done play-wise to get the receivers more open? And can't be afraid to bench the guy, quite honestly. If he does bad, I'll be the first person to tell you if he does bad. And it's kind of hard for me because I grew up in Los Angeles, diehard USC fan, and Raiders have 2 USC quarterbacks, so it's going to be hard to say to bench the guy. But
Matt Leinart. Jesus Christ.
But hey, if the guy's doing bad, like I said, this year I'm going to be the first to tell you.
Okay, and again, like I was saying, started this whole rant was I'm getting pissed because of the lack of coverage the 49ers are getting. I heard on this week on the radio while I was driving, somebody had the nerve to say that the Raiders are going to do better than the 49ers next year.
Who said that?
Not only that, I don't even want to say his name because honestly,
No. You have to out that person.
Trust me, I was texting, get him off the air.
Was it a call? Wait, was it a caller or a host?
It was a host.
Oh my god, a radio personality.
I'll say he was on 95.7 The Game, and he was with Brandon Tierney. It wasn't Brandon Tierney. It was the guy that was with him. And he was saying that the Raiders were going to have a better season than the 49ers last year. And not only that let's say, because they started talking about the whole Alex Carson-Palmer thing, let's say he gave the edge to the Raiders because if Carson were to get hurt, Matt Leinart is a better backup than Kaepernick or Josh Johnson. Josh Johnson, who was backup with Tampa Bay.
That's why he made that statement? That's... Okay, well...
Okay.
That's just retarded.
But, I'm seeing it everywhere. Honestly, the first person that I heard speak honestly about the Raiders was Ice Cube. He doesn't believe in you guys. He doesn't believe in you guys. He was asked because he was on First Take on ESPN, and they asked him about the Carson Palmer quote. The Carson Palmer had said they were going to go to the playoffs. They said, do you buy it?
Uh-huh.
Flat out, he said, I want to buy it. But then he started pointing out all the reasons it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's going to be rough. You can't say now it's going to be dark time for the Raiders. It's been a dark time for us since 2001. But, no, we traded Murphy for a draft pick because we don't have any, to be frank, because the previous coach did whatever he wanted to. But it's going to be healing, and then it's going to be recovery. And right now, we're in a healing. We have to heal before we recover, and Raiders are trying to heal right now. But it's going to be a time.
Here's what's going to happen, though. And, don't get me wrong. I think sometimes the Raiders get so damn lucky, it's frustrating because they take a shot in the dark, and it comes through. But I say you got 3 years left with Carson Palmer. And when Reggie McKenzie can finally clean up the mess that Al Davis left, your quarterback's going to be gone. And you're going to be looking at either a rookie quarterback or, unless you hit the lotto in free agency.
Yeah.
You're going to be looking at, everybody is going to be ready to move forward, but you're going to have to start from the ground up quarterback-wise.
And that's
the hardest spot.
And we got to see where the quarterbacks are at. And you got to think, are they going to trade up for a draft pick? So there's a couple of things that McKenzie could do, and we're going to see where his mind is at in the next 2 to 3 years. We're going to see what type of GM he is in the next 2 to 3 years, because they are going to be rough for the Raiders. But that's it for the MCM Sports Show. Did you have any questions, actually?
Nope, no, I'm good.
Yeah, okay. All right. I don't have any either. So thank everybody for watching the MCM Sports Show. We want to thank our sponsors, rentograndpa.com, and the Brotherhood book, and that author for being a sponsor. And if you want to be a sponsor, you want to advertise on our show, hit us up on Facebook or on Twitter. We'll go ahead and do that for you. But that's it on the MCM Sports Show.
No need to hide the way that you're feeling.